So today, real quickly, I am throwing it back to Mac Candy Yum Yum. I am here with a funny story. Alright, like 2 weeks ago, so Ian was working in Modesto. Sometimes I would go shopping or get errands done in Modesto, since Modesto is a bigger city than Los Baños. And so what happened was that I would go to Modesto. I have a brother who lives there, so I would go spend time with him. But sometimes it was too early in the morning and I don't want to go bother them early, so I would go shopping. At this time, I was looking. Ian scared me. So anyways, Ian was working and I went to the Dollar General or Family Dollar. No, this was Dollar General. Like, I know it was Dollar General because I was looking for those 50-cent eyeshadows that I did a review on my channel, right? So I go in there and I'm like in the makeup section, and then I find like this acrylic at home set, whatever. And so I grab it and then I saw the eyeshadows and I was like, oh, I saw the eyeshadows. So I put it back really quickly, and there was a bunch of like empty little like stick things that, you know, you put the thing in, you know what, I just put it back, and there was a bunch of them without labels. The one I had grabbed it didn't even have a label or like a price tag on it or anything like that. And so I put it back quickly because I saw the eyeshadows and I was just so excited, you know. And it was around like, taking time, it was around like 10 in the morning. Yeah, like 10 in the morning, no, earlier than that, because Ian got to work at 9. So it was like 9:30ish, somewhere around that time. It was like around 9:30 to 10. And so I'm there, and like there's this guy, there's a girl and a guy. The girl's like stalking, so is he's kind of in the register, and the makeup area is right by the register. I'm not gonna say which specific Dollar General it was. And so I was there, and I just like I just put the thing back, right? I didn't really put attention to where I put it back, but my intention was to put it back, you know. But I got confused. There was like 4 or 5 hooks without a name on it, and when I got it from, there was like one in one hook and one in a different hook, right? And so the guy like sees me, but I just think he's like, you know, whatever. He's like, ma'am, do you need help? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. And I'm looking at the eyeshadows, and I start walking, looking for other stuff, and he just keeps following me. Like, he's like, there's me and like 2 other people in the store. He keeps following me, and he keeps he acts like he's stalking or whatever, and he wasn't stalking anything. Like, he had nothing in his hands. He was just like walking through the aisles. And I'm like, okay. And he's just like following me. Like, literally, I'm right here with my card. And he's like right here. Right? And at one point, I stop and I'm like, do you need to get by? And he's like, oh, no. Do you need help? And I was like, no, I'm fine. You know, like for the second time. And then, again, I'm like standing. I'm looking at the deodorants because Ian needed deodorant. And like that, kind of, so this is the aisle. I was like right here, I'm looking, my car's right here. He comes to like where the aisle space is, and he's like, and I'm like, okay. And at this time, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm like, is this guy like, I'm gonna use the word, I felt harassed. He kept following me. I thought he maybe thought I was stealing or something. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna check out because the guy probably thinks I'm stealing, and I'm just gonna, you know, prove to him that I'm not stealing it. I'm gonna pay for my shit. So I go back to ring, and he goes, was everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. And then he's like, did you put that acrylic set back? And I'm like getting like the card, my debit card out of my wallet, and I'm like, excuse me? And he's like, did you put the acrylic set back? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. I didn't just leave it on the ground. And he's like, well, it's not back where it's supposed to be. And I'm like, excuse me? And he's like, well, you're supposed to put it back where it's supposed to be. I was like, is there a sign that says that? I'm sorry, but you work here, I don't. It's not my job to restock things, you know. And I worked in retail since I was like 15 until I was like 18 and a half. So for like a long part of the time I was working, I worked in retail, you know. So I know that the customer is always right, and I know when there is douchey customers, but I wasn't being a douchey customer because I did attempt to put it back. There was just like where I got it from, there wasn't a sign, so I put it back to where I remembered I had grabbed it from because I wanted to get the I was like, I'm sorry, sir, but it's not my job to do that, you know. Like, I'm not supposed to restock things. Like, I'm a customer and I'm here to buy something. He's like, well, did you put it back where it was? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I did. Like, I wasn't sure if it was the right hook. Yeah, there was like 4 high 5 hooks in the area where I had got it from. There was more up top and more in the bottom, but where the area where I was, there was like 4 or 5 hooks that didn't have a label on it or anything. And I just put it back to where I remembered I had got it from, and I guess it wasn't the right place. And he was like, oh, well, that's wrong. You're not supposed to do that, and I don't want you coming in and destroying my store. And I'm like, destroying your store? He's like, I just restocked everything this morning. And I was like, okay, good job restocking, but you know, like I said, I put it back where I remember. Well, you put it in the wrong place. And I was like, at this point I was like, this guy's crazy. And he's like, I'm gonna call my manager. I'm being honest here. I was like, well, then call him. What is he gonna do? You know, what is he gonna do? Like, kick me out of the store for not knowing exactly where things go? I paid like $7 or something like that, so I must have bought a few things. So I bought a few things, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna pay for what I bought, and I'm gonna get out of your store. And he's like, have a good day. And I was like, okay. And then I went over to my brother's house, and I told him what happened, and I told my sister-in-law, why don't you actually have him call the manager so you could talk to him? And I was like, I wasn't gonna make a big deal out of it. So after I bought them, I was like, I'm never shopping at Dollar General ever again. Like, that was such bad customer service. And I'm just being honest here. I used to work at Macy's, I used to work at Ulta, I used to work at JCPenney, and trust me, there are people who are way worse than putting something back in the wrong hook. You know what I mean? Like, there are people where I worked at Macy's, that's not what you do. You don't just yell at people. I had shitty ass customers, don't get me wrong. There was times where like people threw shit at me and I never yelled at them. I never talked back to them at all like that. And I did not deserve to be yelled at like that. And for that reason, I'm never shopping at Dollar General ever again. That's just offensive. You don't do that, you know. I had customers at Macy's, when I used to work at Macy's, that like would grab like the stuff that was on display to come and pay for it. And one time I told a customer like, oh, this is on display, I'm gonna go get the other one. And she grabbed it, it was like a spoon, and she grabbed it and literally threw it across like the counter for me. She was like, here. And me being kind of polite, I still go and get the damn spoon because I was paid to do that. And when you work in customer service, the customer is always right. And I didn't throw the acrylic set at him. I didn't like grabbed it and threw it across the store. I didn't do anything like that. And so to me that was unfair, and that's why I'm never shopping at Dollar General in Modesto ever again. Like, that was like crap customer service too. That's why I'm never shopping at Dollar General ever again. I got kicked off out of a Chevron station too, and that's another story. If you want to hear about that, let me know. And then a lady at Starbucks yelled at me. So I have two stories. Not an employee of Starbucks, just a lady at Starbucks yelled at me. So yeah. And so I have two other stories coming up. Let me know which one you want to hear first. The one I got kicked out of a Chevron, or I got yelled at Starbucks by one of their customers. I was a customer too, so a fellow customer. Thanks for being on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe to keep seeing my crazy stories. Alright, so other than that, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!